What's up, guys? Welcome back to Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho. Thank you so much for watching. And guys, today we are talking about Javonte Williams, running back for the Denver Broncos, and we're going to talk about how he's done after 9 weeks in the NFL. We're going to talk about what the expectation was from him coming into the season, how I saw him, maybe what I missed in the rookie process, all of these things. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about what I expect for him over the next couple years with the Denver Broncos. So let's get started with how he's done in the NFL so far. And listen, statistically, it's not absolutely mind-blowing. He is just behind Najee Harris and Elijah Mitchell in total yards so far this season. But I would argue he is statistically far more effective, right? He's ranked 6th in the league in yards after contact per attempt at 3.48 among running backs with a minimum 50 attempts. He's 2nd in the league in elusive rating, just behind Nick Chubb, and he's 2nd in the league in breakaway percentage, just behind Dalvin Cook. And according to a PFF article I found, he was the 15th highest graded rookie through the first 6 weeks of the season. He's been killing it. And what I want to do now is just take a quick look at a couple plays that I think encapsulate what Javonte Williams is and what he has been for the Denver Broncos so far this season. After watching about 3 or 4 games and really studying him, this is really what it comes down to. And this is not like a film study or anything like that. I'm not going to go deep into the weeds by any means, but we'll just take a quick look here against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Just his leg drive on this play, absolutely awesome. Listen, the offensive line blocks it really, really well. Really, he kind of gets tripped up by this D tackle and falls forward, falls into a tackler, and just drives for a first down, man. You see that so much. His yards after contact, I told you statistically that it was awesome, yet it jumps off when you really start to watch this guy. Constantly breaking tackles, constantly falling forward, and he's just a bowling ball on the ground. That's what we saw at UNC, and he has really brought it at the next level. And then here again against the Ravens, the defense does a really good job here. Every gap is accounted for, and Javonte Williams just makes a play. You see the outside linebacker coming in here, shedding the block from Cortland Sutton, and man, just has no chance against Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams bounces off of him, bounces off another tackler, and then carries the third tackler for what, 10 yards, almost 15 yards. Absolutely amazing play. That's what he is. That's what he does. And then this, I gotta throw this in there. I'm not gonna break it down to any level. You know what it is. But the play against the Cowboys this past week, absolutely awesome in his first 100-yard game, just making the Cowboys defense look absolutely silly. It really reminded me of, honestly, like my favorite play from him in college. And I know when I did my draft profile on him, I showed this play, and it's one of those get me hype plays. And I'm gonna show it here too. I mean, this dude just mauls people, making people look silly. I love it. Gotta get some just good old-fashioned football when you're talking football, right? Gotta have fun with it a little bit there. Hey, let's get into how I looked at him coming into the class. Listen, I really like Javonte Williams. I saw him as the 3rd best running back in this class, and the way I had it ranked out, I had, Travis Etienne as the clear number 1. Now, a lot of people disagreed with me. The NFL obviously disagreed. Najee Harris goes a pick earlier. Etienne gets hurt. We don't get to see what he would have been in the NFL, to be continued. But Najee Harris and Javonte Williams were right neck and neck there. I know a lot of people would have disagreed with that. Hey, those are my rankings. I feel like I was honestly higher on Javonte Williams than most people, but I know I heard certain people that had him as the number 1 running back. So like, I don't think I was completely alone or completely, in the dark there. I think a lot of people very much viewed him the way I did. I think he was a clear 2nd round type of guy, a high-end running back that was probably going to go somewhere in that 2nd round range, and then obviously the top 2 running backs go off the board in the 1st round, so all of a sudden he becomes the priority 2nd round pick, and the Broncos have to trade up to go get him ahead of the Miami Dolphins. I'm a Dolphins fan, so that hurt my feelings a little bit, but it's okay. And real quick before we move on, I do want to look at my skill chart for Javonte Williams coming into the draft. By the way, this is how I grade rookie players. This is how I get my final grade. I have a whole system that I built for grading players, and this skill chart is a big aspect of how I get my final grade. And I just want to take a look and see how I maybe was wrong or misstepped in my skill chart here. And to be honest, I think the two things that I missed the most are circled on the screen for you now. Short area quickness at 4.2, that is like right below my baseline average of 4.5. And you know, I think that was wrong. Now, I probably wouldn't have like, you know, put this in like a high elite skill set, but he's clearly higher than a 4.2. I think he's definitely above average in that department. I think I just kind of missed that. I think, you know, I saw him as a bruising, you know, quick, certainly had the agility and acceleration, all these things, but I didn't see him as a jitterbug running back, and he's not. He's certainly not. But I think I maybe disrespected him a little bit there. And then the big thing that I think I missed was breaking tackles. And now at a 6.4, that is like, that's a good grade for me. Just for everyone who didn't watch my draft profiles last year or anything, doesn't know how I do my setup. At 4.5 is average. Anything above 7 is elite, and like anything above 6 is like super good, something that I think is definitely worth mentioning that I love about him. 6.4 definitely loved about him. It was elite, and I should have given him that credit. It's clearly, it's elite in the NFL. It was certainly elite in college, and for whatever reason I didn't give it the respect it deserved. I gave it respect, but not the respect it deserved, if that makes any sense. Other than that, you know, I'm pretty okay with everything else. He obviously does run with great pad level and balance. He still does in the NFL, is a big part of my grade. I do think he's really good in the open field. Has good acceleration. Maybe acceleration even is a little bit too high at 6.8. He has good acceleration. I think that maybe, honestly, thinking about it now, the one thing he's not even in the NFL is like a true home run hitter. Even when he has the lane and he should be gone, you know, you still see cornerbacks and things, and you know, cornerbacks and safeties running him down. That's not to take anything away from him. He's still a great running back. He's a 4.5 speed guy. He's not a 4.4 guy, is all I'm saying. So maybe acceleration a little bit too high. Those are probably where I missed the most there. I like doing that. I like kind of taking a look back and seeing, you know, how were we seeing this, or specifically how was I seeing this, and what was missed? What could we, you know, learn from Javonte Williams moving forward? And honestly, with Javonte Williams, yeah, he is outperforming Najee Harris in my opinion. The draft world as a whole had the consensus that Najee Harris was the better running back. I'm not here to tell you that he's not by any means. You know, there's a lot of other factors to this that should absolutely be noted. Najee Harris, first of all, getting the full workload, and really there's nobody else on that roster that comes close to his skill level. Meanwhile, Javonte Williams gets to split carries really 50-50 right down the middle with a Melvin Gordon who kind of already fits his play style, so he gets to learn from a very good veteran running back, and he doesn't have to have that wear and tear and that, you know, 70%, 80% snap count that Najee Harris is getting on a weekly basis. That means something, so when he does go out there, he is fresh and he's ready to go. That's also a fair point. Like, and then also, you know, offensive line scheme, all these other things that get into it. I'm not about to just absolutely shit on Najee Harris. Just, you know, doing a video about how Javonte Williams is performing and above expectations. And while the expectations I think were moderately high, he is outperforming that. Now, fantasy wise, yeah, it's not awesome. He is having to split carries with Melvin Gordon. I think that's a perfect segue into what we can expect from Javonte Williams moving forward. And this is where I think the fantasy listeners can kind of perk up here, because if you clicked on this video only for fantasy football advice and you're still here, appreciate you still watching, but I think he is a big buy if you are in dynasty or keeper leagues or anything like that. I know I'm in those leagues and I am looking to grab a Javonte Williams. I think this will be the last year of a Melvin Gordon in Denver. I don't think it's because of performance. Melvin Gordon has actually played a lot better than I expected coming into the season, but Melvin Gordon costs money. Javonte Williams is cheap, and I think Javonte Williams has, you know, honestly, he's outperformed Melvin Gordon from a statistical standpoint, or at least from a, you know, analytics standpoint. When you dive into the numbers and you look at some of these more high-tech numbers that I grab from PFF and Fantasy Pros and all these other things, right? He is outperforming Melvin Gordon from that aspect already. There's no reason they wouldn't take the cheaper option. I think that, you know, moving forward, you have yourself a workhorse running back. I think, you know, next year the Broncos probably bring in a true RB2 type, whoever that is, doesn't matter. Like, pick a number. There's plenty of them out there in the NFL to kind of spell a Javonte Williams, and Javonte Williams does end up getting 60-70% of the workload. He does end up getting, you know, the full grunt of the fantasy points that are available. He gets most of the red zone zone carries, all of these things that would make him a top 10, top 15 fantasy running back next year. I wholeheartedly expect that. Statistically, he is playing very, very well. You watch the film, he is playing very, very well. He is fun to watch. And I wholeheartedly believe that his arrow is pointing straight up. This is a incredibly talented running back in the NFL. The Broncos were very smart to trade up in the draft to grab Javonte Williams. That is looking like a great move by the Denver Broncos, and I think it is going to pay dividends over the next couple years. But all right, guys, that is all I have on Javonte Williams. I am going to try and make this a weekly series as we head into the end of the season and into draft season. I'm already kind of gearing up for the 2022 NFL draft. That's what this channel really is. It's how I've grown to the point that I'm at now, and I'm hoping, like, with more of that content, I will keep growing. So hey, help me out, keep growing. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Really appreciate any comments you have down below. Very, very much appreciated. Let me know what you liked about this video, disliked about this video, what you like about Javonte Williams, what you dislike about Javonte Williams. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.